Hello and welcome to the Blue House Bull Session. Back with you on this beautiful February 5th, right? That's what it is. Wednesday. It's Wednesday again already. Happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dude. I am your host, Jay Artist, joined as always by my dear friend and confidant, Uber Fuzzy. Welcome. How are ya? Happy Wednesday.
I am
alive and functional.
Wednesday.
You are alive. We'll start with that. Functional we'll get to, hopefully, with any luck. The weather's been very back and forth. We had a couple really nice days for January, and now it is cold
And I
again.
missed it.
And you missed it.
I missed it.
You missed it.
It was at the wrong part of my horrible sleep cycle, and it was one of those days where my work day was at the end of my cycle, so I immediately came home and passed out hard. Like, I got off at 6, I got home by 6:30, I was asleep by 6:35, and then I hard outed for like 12 hours, woke up and had to go back to work. Like, I went to bed when it was dark, and I woke up and it was dark, and the clock wasn't changed that much, and it was one of those, hey, voice assistant, what time is it? Oh, it's 7 o'clock, and I'm like,
could you be a little more specific?
AM or PM? Because I don't know which, and it's dark outside, and it's winter in Ohio.
Yeah.
7 does not tell me
when it is. 7 is just a number at some points. Yeah. No, it was here just to tease us a little bit. It's cold again, but knock on wood, at least it hasn't started snowing again. Which I agree, snow is beautiful elsewhere. I don't like it.
I had a headache today.
Uh-oh.
We have a winter weather advisory something or other tonight.
I was going to ask, pressure headache?
Yes, but here's the thing. I haven't had a headache in like 2 years, like at all. When I started eating better and I lost all this weight, like even before doing my job accelerated the weight loss because, burning calories. But I started eating better and stuff.
And it makes an alarming amount of difference.
Right. And it's like, I had like borderline high blood pressure for a while. Yeah. And then it was like on the edge, and my doctor gave me pills, and it's like, well, they worked, but also just like removing stress out of my life and eating slightly less salted products at every goddamn meal also dramatically lowered it. So I'm going to stop taking these. He's like, yeah, fair. I just wanted to see if was that the thing why you had high blood pressure was that? And I'm like, no, I just eat too much salt because I'm a horrible goblin and eat processed foods.
Yeah. It's easy to fall into, especially, with everything that's been going on for both of us. It's easy to default back to that. It takes dedicated effort not to.
But I realize now how many headaches I had were because of, was this, I haven't had water in a day, dehydration headache, or is this, some sort of diabetic, probably also dehydration headache? Is this high blood pressure, or is this a, pressure front? I can see the difference now because I haven't had
any of the others. Yeah.
And then I'm like, I have a headache. What weather alerts are coming? Oh, big ass front. Okay. This one in this one of this shape is a pressure headache. I can identify them now.
Yeah, world's a difference, ain't it? World's a difference.
Yeah.
And I again want to call out my best friend. I love you. Thank you very much, brother, for taking better care of yourself. I'm trying to do the same too.
I bought a water bottle.
Recovering people, please. Yeah, that's a shirt from Bobby's store. I'm out here representing the boss at the day job. I'm helping his side hustle out unconditionally.
You're trying to please him by shipping his merch?
Well, that's
God damn it, Rudolph's shirt turns it into fire.
That's like 2% of it. All the rest of it is I genuinely support what he's trying to do because I'm going to go ahead and air someone else's dirty laundry. As Bobby's been going through a journey of personal recovery and discovery, as he has been reclaiming his life and rebuilding himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trying to share what he's learned, which is why he started Unconditionally, which is his mental health resources, support resources, kind of nebulous thing he's got going on. And I'm all in favor of that. You know me.
Drop a link in the chat for the VOD.
I'll have to see if I can find one. I've got it here somewhere. I'll find one. Nothing else shaking. It's in the Discord, or I'll throw it in the Discord. I know I've got it here. Let me put the link to the Discord. Go to the Discord. I'll post a link to Unconditionally when I find it because I don't remember the URL. I have to go through my history and find it.
Question.
Go on.
Why don't we have a podcast channel in there for people to talk about shit or post links that we, on the thing or whatever?
Because
post when the new episodes are going live, or like when the episodes are on YouTube, or like for people to talk about extended stuff from the chat or post topics they want to talk about.
Because I'm lazy more than anything else. I'm pretty sure you're an admin in the Discord. If you're not, I'll make sure you are. Make one. Go for it. We have a whole section for Amaya. She's not even me, and she has like multiple fan channels. Ow! Stop. I love you. Stop. Sarge needs her nails clipped.
Not.
Well, let's fix that then. Beep, 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 beep. I'll click the button here and do it. We're doing it live. Roles, moderator. How do I admin you? I don't know. I'll make a channel for the show. I'll do it.
We were talking about notifications and stuff for other things, and that's topic-based roles like that are very useful.
Yeah, and I'm starting to see Discord has made it more available. They were always there, but they've made it more accessible to use those. Kind of like opting into the Let's Cafe notifications and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that that's easier to do, I'm going to take more advantage of it. I just don't want to be one of those Dewey Decimal servers.
Oh my god. The Pirate Software Discord is this amazing beast of probably dozens of thousands of people active simultaneously. It's like, oh, here's an entire chunk of Reddit. Here is a small city of people actively doing it with hundreds of channels that you don't see. It is all very role based, and it's like, oh, you're here for gaming stuff? Go turn these on. You're here for hacking programming shit? Go turn these on. And never the two shall mix.
Yeah.
I mean, they overlap, but like it is like its own ecosystem. It's like Reddit.
It's all opt-in too.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a spot, and I couldn't tell if it was on my shirt or my monitor, but then I covered it up, and it's on my shirt. And I'm trying to think, I haven't eaten a damn thing today. What have I spilled on my shirt? Except I've had this coffee abomination. I
had that happen once. Somebody was like, I'm trying to fix this pixel. It won't align. Like it's got like, they thought it was like an aliasing thing. And I'm like, huh. And I walk up and I go with my nail and I scrape the crunchy off of the thing. And it was a speck of something dried, but it was just at the right exact perfect pixel alignment of their thing, that if they were in the exact right spot, it was light bending around the thing, and they didn't notice because it was like not a chunk, it was like spittle or something, but it was just enough of a deflection that they thought the pixel was wrong.
Yeah. And stuff like that. It's crazy making. It absolutely is.
It wasn't an errant green bean.
Hey. I'm trying to figure out how that happened. I think I know how that happened, but it was another one of those odd something. Yeah, I know what happened.
I was working on a feature, and I'm like making a test kitchen and doing a thing and doing a thing, and then I saw this like green edge at the side of the chicken cutlet. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, oh, well, you did add green beans. I'm like, wait, no, chicken is like way towards the top. Where? Huh? And then because I was re-rolling shop to like find an ingredient because I was
And
too
you
lazy
saw
to
the other half on the potato.
and then I'm like, hold on, where's the asset sheet?
Yeah, it got burped right into the center of the image. By the way, for the record, I did push a fix to that, and I did actually push it, so it's like out in all the branches now. I figured I'm trying to reel back how much I cowboy these things, but in this case, given that a singular image file was the only change. I know.
No,
But yeah,
not a problem.
it's out there now, which means that they are in there, which means Ellie, if you're here still, you will be able to get green beans in the shop now. There are recipes you can make with them. just putting that
No,
out there.
they were in there. They were in there before.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, they were. They were. They got moved into Maine, and Beta was behind Maine for a minute there.
Yeah, that's
Maybe. This is
that's
something we do
that
need to process around a little bit better, yeah.
get a little bit better about version releasing and which goes to which in which order and back sync.
Yeah.
That's the problem of having multiple channels in general is if you're featuring if you put a thing in A, okay, you have your main, you have production, you have the thing that normal people are actually playing, like on Steam.
Yeah.
And then you make a branch for a new feature A, and you make a feature for B. And then you finish B and it's now in production. B doesn't exist on A automatically.
Yeah.
Unless you rebase it and then you bring it back up to current, but like you have to get better about doing that.
Yes.
But the thing is you're making of changes. You don't want to introduce new bugs that may into account for, but you should introduce that feature from B into A to make sure it plays nicely with A before you merge it in production. Now production is busted,
Yes, absolutely. Baby, please, I love you. Please. Baby, please,
my last
I
job,
love you.
We used Git to manage text documents. All the help guides were stored in Git. We stored text as code, basically.
Right.
All the prose text was also in Git along with the website.
One more.
So as
thinking,
every time it's like, oh, we need a guide on this. We need to. There were, we're talking about juggling one or two feature branches as they're happening. No. I had to, as I made changes to the website code, also juggle a at minimum at any given time. I think the lowest we ever got it was 8, but usually between 8 and 20 multi-headed Hydra of documents in different versions of stuff and features on the site and stuff. And they would switch between them because they would go and they'd push a test build to some staging thing and they'd send it off to some, engineer for technical review or some product manager for a thing that's coming out or whatever. So they had here, go review this document. It's like, oh, it's on this version of site, but it's like, oh, this version of this staging, this bubble universe doesn't have the new nav bar or whatever. And it's like, what's wrong with this thing? It doesn't have the new colors. What's broken? Like, is this site been hacked? It's like, no, you're viewing a cut of it from 3 weeks ago when we started this. It exists in its own pocket universe outside of time.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. So it's like, well, we want this. We need to see this. I'm like, so anytime I change anything on the code side, I, being the one engineer who knew how to do anything, had to go through and update every single branch to make sure they were all running on the same version of the website base.
Yeah.
This is why I made the money I did, is I was juggling. long history of my title being nebulous.
Bottle washer.
We used to joke my true title was plate spinner.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
100%. That's the most accurate one.
that's why, physical demands aside, and not nearly enough money for what we do, whole nother rant that I may tell you later off stream. I really enjoy, even though it's not financially supportive enough, I really, really right now love my job and how not brain dead it is.
Simple.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was comfortable in my last job. I was good at it. But at the same time, I did not realize how much always running at 137% mental strain capacity I was running at to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
For a decade.
Yeah. Non-stop. You did not get breaks. You got vacations, but they were not breaks is the thing.
Vacation? I don't understand this word.
Yes, I know.
I took a 4-day weekend when I got married.
Yeah.
Because I took the Friday off and the Monday off because we weren't sure what time we were going to check out of the hotel over the weekend.
Yeah.
That was it. In 11 years. Yeah. No, seriously.
No, I feel it. I 100% feel it.
Oh, no, I take that back. I did take FLMA when my daughter was born. I took paternity leave.
Yeah.
But that wasn't vacation because I had a newborn.
Right.
Yeah.
Vacation's the wrong wording. You did take paid time off, but it was not a break from your work. They made you take paid time off. They could not stop you from working, though.
Yes. And now they're yelling at me because I'm not taking a nominally 15-minute break.
Yeah.
Twice a shift. And I'm like, if I stop moving for 15 minutes, I'm going to seize up and not want to get back up.
Right.
Just let me keep working.
Yeah. It's like, can I take my 2 15-minute breaks at the end of my shift?
I did that. Yeah, I did that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Or not yesterday, Monday. Because it was one of those, there's some nights of the week, my boss works 9 to 5. He has to leave at 5 because of kids and stuff.
Yeah.
I get scheduled 10 to 6 because my job is not dependent on the store being open. And I work better when that first hour is not when customers are there.
Mm-hmm.
So they moved my shift down. So I have a whole extra hour of no customers, hit the ground running, do whatever I want, leave boxes and aisles and stuff. But there's this weird overlap when he leaves and I'm still there. Sometimes the night crew, it's just the two of us. So he leaves. He hands me the keys. I haven't been here 90 days and he's literally handing me keys to the store and be like,
yeah,
morning people will be here sometime in the next 45 minutes. When the doorbell rings, go unlock the door. And I'm like, huh?
This is a little above my pay grade, dude, but
he gave me a 5-minute talk, was like, oh yeah. I'm like, what happens if like the temperature set, the temperature things will go off. It'll beep. It's a death squeal. You can't miss it. 2 months ago, he told me this.
Yeah.
It went off the other night and I'm like, hey, are you still awake? What's this beeping? He's like, oh, go check the cooler door. Probably didn't latch all the way. And like the temperature dropped that half a degree because they keep it at like 38 and the alarm goes off at like 36 or something real stupid.
Yeah.
Or the other way. And that's what it was. And we got the call and the phone's like, hey, I'm calling from blah, 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 monitoring service. We got a temperature alarm. Can I talk to the manager on duty? I'm like, I think that's me. I'm the closest you're going to get.
Yeah.
And now it's the question of, hey, when there's this weird overlap, am I technically the manager on duty? Like, what?
I stand by what I said the other day. Talk to your union rep.
I gotta find out who my union rep is.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to see the new contract because I want to know the deal with his breaks.
Yeah.
Because I brought it up with our good friend Jeff. Hi, future Jeff, who may be listening this tomorrow as he works.
Happy Thursday
Or
morning, Jeff.
Friday when Jason remembers to publish the podcast.
I'll publish it tonight. I'll put it out as soon as we hang up. I'll do it. I will.
Well, no, because it has to render on Twitch's side for a little bit.
Yes, but
yeah,
I can start it.
He's like, yeah, when I work night shift, it's the same thing. They usually give me the option for 8 and skate, just like forego the, the lunch break. Take your on breaks, but don't take your off breaks, and then just leave after 8 hours, as opposed to your 8-hour day that is 8.5 hours long because paid lunch and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know.
Hopefully, it'll be less of a hassle any which way you go about it. That's the. I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I have, on that note, I have topics that I started keeping in a note on my phone as I was thinking in the middle of the night.
Ooh.
First, I have a weird question.
Yeah.
Do you know what shingles is?
Yes.
Okay. I have not listened to radio very much. Like, I do, but not really. And internally at the store, we have Muzak piped in from somewhere because, like, our internal company ads are interjected in it and stuff. So it's like our own feed. It's not just like Muzak dial in. There's ads for our store and stuff, right?
I'm starting to doubt my answer to your question with the current context.
They've been running this ad that is like creepy and scary, and one of those like, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah.
Level like scary thing. It's like, the virus for shingles sleeps in all of us. It is awakened in you. Talk to your pharmacist. This ad brought to you by some big company name that I assume is some sort of shingles vaccine.
GlaxoSmithKline, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think one of those words was the thing. Anyway, is it like a thing now because like our generation and we were like a real big chickenpox generation?
We were the last one before the chickenpox vaccine.
Okay. I don't know if they just like never marketed it or whatever. And maybe just their target demographic is the people who shop at my store are going to be our generation and older. So they're like really targeting it. But like, I've never heard ads for shingles.
Yeah. That's what it is we are now at the point where medically we're inclined to get the resurgences, and our generation was like, our specific 5-year range is the last 5-year range before the chickenpox vaccine was commonplace.
I wonder if my sisters got that vaccine. Because the oldest one is 8 years younger than me?
Yeah. I would be willing to bet that they did. Interesting things, yeah.
I know they made a vaccine. I just never thought about it. It's like every time that commercial comes on, I'm like, they always pitch, get the flu vaccine, talk to your pharmacist, it takes like 5 minutes, walk into like, yeah, but like they do that just like general health of society,
Yeah.
That was one that was on my list.
Interesting and definitely targeted towards us older folks. Older, not old, but yeah.
Something else. Not really top, but I want to. Okay, I have an Apple Watch. It has sound detection on it. When you're in a loud environment for a while, it's like, hey, you're in a really loud place. If you keep listening for like half hour, it's going to damage your hearing, extremely loud, like, hey, 10 minutes of this is going to be bad. Like a yapping dog, Rufus, sets it off constantly. It also has a function that Apple shoehorned in right beginning of pandemic, but you can tell they're working on it. It detects when you're washing your hands, and like, hey, we're doing hand washing. It detects like the water sensor and then the noise of the water. It's like, it'll like, hey, we're washing hands. Make sure you wash them for, the right amount of time, blah, 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 blah. It's a hand washing thing because motion and what, like, they can detect hand washing. Every time I dry my hands under the air dryer, it says, hey, it's loud. You shouldn't do that. The problem with this is it detects the microphone is on my wrist, not at my ears.
Right.
So it's detecting the sound at my wrist, not at my ears. I can be loud down here, and it's a lot less up here. Anytime I use lawnmower or leaf blower or something,
Yeah.
it is loud, and it always goes off, and I have to tell it, like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
If they can detect when I'm washing my hands, it should suppress the loud noise warning for like a 3-minute period.
Yeah.
Because oh no, it's above 90. It's really, really loud. But like, hey, you just washed your hands. There's a good chance you're gonna dry your hands, and it may be loud. Let's mute that warning for 90 seconds, 3 minutes, whatever. Just
Yeah.
like, hey, there's a good chance.
Put it in user voice. Oh wait, wrong company. Wrong company.
Oh.
Also, BJ, please don't feel like you need to apologize for Rufus. You really don't. I promise. We like him, and he's just very talkative. But he's sweet and friendly and good-natured. And we missed him this week.
And psychotic.
That is also true, but we still missed him this week.
Okay. I have 2 audio-related things. Actually, all 3 of them are audio. Audio is a big part of my life now.
Yeah.
I have 2 topics and one. I have 2 topics and 1 rant. Which do you want?
Ooh, let's pick the middle topic.
Okay. What I wrote down is theme songs versus thongs as themes.
Okay.
Some TV show. What is the theme song to the show House MD?
Okay, this one's an interesting question because it changed over time.
Okay,
there was a licensing thing, but
Yeah.
Teardrop by Massive Attack is the one that's most prominently known.
Right, but that was a song.
Yes.
On an album by a band.
Yes.
That got used for the show.
Right.
Okay. The show Enterprise, the prequel TV show,
Yeah.
Jonathan Archer and stuff.
You'll never take the sky from me. Yeah.
No,
the other one. That was it's been a long road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something of the heart. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But again,
Faith of the Heart. Faith of the Heart. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a song by a band that existed that they used on the show.
Yes.
A lot of shows in the 90s had used an existing song as their thing. I don't remember the name of the song, but the one for One Tree Hill and Orange County, and there's a bunch of them. And when they come on the radio on Random Shuffler, you're like, oh, hey, it's that one song. Or the theme song to Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a song by, I want to say it's the Rembrandts.
Yes.
Hey, I remembered something. But it is a song that exists in its entirety outside of that show. It just happens to be used as that.
The vampire show, True Blood, used Bad Things by Jace Everett.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
All the vampire shows had those too. But there's also theme songs to shows that exist For that, somebody
They were
wrote it,
written
some
for
music
that
jingle.
purpose, yeah.
The theme song to Cheers is the theme song of Cheers. It is not a song.
Or Gilligan's Island, which is the prime example. That's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. It is the theme.
The reason this came up is on one of the trivia podcasts. They were talking about what's the number one hit by Devo?
The Rugrats theme.
No.
This is a tough call because my next answer is going to be Whip It.
Okay, I'm bad with the names because I already forgot, and I only woke up what is it? We've been live for 33 minutes. I woke up 40 minutes ago. The lead writer for Devo,
Mark Mothersbaugh,
makes over $1 million a year in royalties for a song he wrote.
Wait. Oh, what the hell is it? The one from Tank Girl. Girl
No.
You Want. No?
No.
Okay.
He wrote a song that got used as the theme song to some MTV reality show.
Yeah.
And as linear TV just has gone to shit, MTV just plugs gaps in its programming by playing this 400 million season that's back to back to back because it's a reality show, and they'll play like an entire season in 2 days.
Yeah.
Just and every time they air it in syndication, he gets a little bit of money. He says he makes over north of $1 million a year just from the royalties from that song, from that show, just from HBO saying, fuck it, we don't know what else to play, just put on,
the Real World or whatever it is, yeah. But yeah, Mark Mothersbaugh has done a ton of soundtracks. He did do the music for Rugrats.
Yeah.
That was definitely him. And he's done a bunch of other animation soundtrack work and film scoring and stuff.
But the thing is when you are commissioned to write a song for a show, it is work for hire, and you don't get the same type of royalties from it.
You can negotiate that. It's a per thing basis, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a work for hire that you get a little bit of residuals from versus licensing for that.
Right.
Which is, to go back to the house thing, when they changed that, is because they did not want to keep paying Teardrop for that for a million years. Because it's like, oh, this show got popular, it's going to be played forever. So I had a section I recently hooked up my music library. I ran a local copy of Plex so I could use Plex Amp, which is their standalone music player.
Yeah. It's
more designed to play music than just playing music in the Plex app. Like, it supports background thing and tracks and visual. It's a dedicated music style app. But I rigged up my local MP3 collection that I've been building since the 90s.
Yeah.
But I have a whole section of MP3s that are theme songs. And some of them are
songs that are themes.
It's the theme song version of the one. It's the TV show, recut of it. But occasionally in the playlist, if I don't hit shuffle, you hit the T's and it says theme song of DuckTales, theme song of Cheers, and it just goes through these. And it's like, I had to move them out for that reason. But it's like, oh yeah, that is an actual. It's weird when it hits that section of the playlist, and it's like, oh yeah, some of these are songs that are in the list otherwise.
Yep.
But it's a different cut, or it's real, it's whatever. It's
wild. And sometimes they go the other direction too. The Gilligan's Island theme being, again, the example of a song that gained independence from the show. It was always the theme of the show, but it took on it took on a commercial life of its own. You know who else Can say something like that. Sarge, I love you. Please get down, Sarge. Please. Barry Manilow. MASH's theme song is "Suicide is Painless,"
Yeah.
and the song itself actually does have lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very entertaining song, a very engrossing song. How about that? Barry Manilow. You know what song you know by him that you don't know by him? The Band-Aid jingle. I am stuck on Band-Aid because Band-Aid stuck on me. That was Barry Manilow.
Interesting.
He did a couple other relatively well known commercial jingles too. Like a good songwriter can write anything. They really can.
That was what did you ever watch Two and a Half Men
Ow.
before it went crazy?
I am familiar with it in passing. I never really watched it.
That's what the main character did for his job. He was a jingle writer. He was commissioned, like, go
Yeah.
write.
Yeah. Oh. The Pink Panther theme, Henry Mancini. It was written as the Pink Panther theme for the film, but it is definitely one of his best known works because of that. They made it for the film, The Pink Panther, because Henry Mancini did the soundtrack for that.
Okay.
He scored the film, and then the cartoons inherited it from there. But he also did Baby Elephant Walk and a bunch of other things. Those are just the two that everybody knows because of their comedic purposes.
The music at work is semi-random. I think it goes in like themes or something, or it's using some sort of like adjacent randomness. Like I pick some tag and it goes to an adjacent tag, but it's not. Like it'll go.
A metadata drunkard's walk?
Yeah, it's it'll jump around randomly, but you're like, okay, I could see it. Once you realize, like, oh, these are kind of related, or these are in the same decade, or like once you start paying attention, it's like, oh, there is a chain between these. But what started this whole thing was the Rembrandt's Friends theme song came on.
Yeah.
But it was like, I'm like, wait, are they playing theme songs now? And they played the full version. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a second set of lyrics to this,
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's a whole song with multiple verses. And it came on, and I'm like, don't clap, don't clap, don't clap at the part. And 3 aisles over, my boss went, and I'm like,
you have to. You have to. There just ain't no two ways about it. Oh, hello, handsome. Dino come to say hi. Hi, Dino
woof,
Bino.
woof, woof, woof.
He's a good boy. He is a good boy.
Woof, woof, woof.
He's a good boy. Yes, we'll go out in just a few. It's almost break time. In the meanwhile, I got a treats for you. I got a treats for the handsome boy. He loves these kebabs. I'm going to show the kebab, but I'm going to keep the bag off screen because hashtag not sponsored, etc.
It is sponsored.
Yes, please go get your Hergel gear. I'm waiting anxiously for my mouse pad, and Jacob is waiting anxiously for his mouse pad, and you and I need to talk because I want to get you some Hergel merch. Do you want the desk pad? Do you want the Hergel one or the Let's Cafe one? Or do you want the hat? Or do you want the shirt?
How big is the pad?
Like this, but not to scale.
35.
It is a full desk pad size desk pad. It is not a mouse pad. It is a desk pad.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk. I have a little worry about the desk pad fitting on my desk because I don't have very much desk. But it'll work just fine on my other desk if I get my other desk cleaned off. BS. Thank you for shouting out the merch. Thank you to our friends at Tantrum Collectibles for helping us get that together and everything too. I'm excited. I'm excited.
If you're ordering one, I'll take a Hergel one because at least I'll use it as a build mat.
Yeah.
Whenever I get back to doing overhead building stuff.
I'm done, buddy. Cool. He excited. He's very happy it's Wednesday. That's his favorite day in the middle of the week. Guy.
Somebody at corporate finally got around to reading my assessment review thing.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And then they made my boss actually go back and read my responses.
Uh-oh.
And he came to me on Monday night and asked, "So, I read your thing. Apparently you're writing a game about the can roller sort of thing." And I'm like, "Yes, sort of. We have a mechanic worked out."
Yeah.
And he's like, "But that's not your first can-based game?" Like,
No.
we wrote a different can-based shelf stocking and sorting game before I worked here because it was a neat mechanic and we made a whole game out of it.
We sure did.
And he's like, "What?" And I showed him, I brought up videos on my phone of Can Do, and I could not easily play the web version on my phone, but I showed it to him and I showed him videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I showed him the video. I went back in our chat of when you made the can roller demo and it moving down and the vertical sort of thing. And he's like, and I'm standing in the soup aisle next to the, if you've ever been in a grocery store and it's usually Campbell soups, but they're sideways roller, like those pop cans, you put them in the top and you just pull one out and it feeds, self-feeding down. I stock those at night.
Yeah.
They're relatively fun. And I showed Jason this and he's like, "Oh, we can make that a whole game. And it's going to be a mechanic in
one or more games."
Future. Yes. But you put in and it comes out, but the middle is a black hole if you don't know what goes on back there.
Yeah.
And I showed him that video of both you could see it and also the blind box version. And he's standing there and he turns and he slowly looks at the thing that we're standing next to. And he looks at the phone again. He's like, "You are so much weirder than any of us have any idea about." Everybody else just shows up, puts the boxes on the shelf, and goes home like a normal person.
Their loss, man.
No, you hired a neurodivergent programmer.
Yeah.
Not a grunt. You should be happy I'm not rewiring your inventory system to allow me to put in dates with a 2-digit year and not make me type the full year out.
Yeah. We are past the point of any products that expire in a year starting with 19 at this point. It's been a quarter of a century. We're good.
I have to do, it's called code scanning, but it's date input so they can track when things are expiring. And you put in the date. The touchpad is really, really bad because they're really shitty. And sometimes you put in 2025. But sometimes you'll hit that 2 for the decade and then the 5, but it doesn't pick it up. It picks up the 5 again. So it thinks you're putting in 2055. It's got a line in there that says, "Hey, that's really far in the future. Are you sure it expires in 2055? And I'm like, "Oh, they've had this problem and they're fix it in software and not fix the finger detection."
Yeah. Yep. It's sometimes you have to put tape over the hole. That's just how it works sometimes. But at least they did something about it.
But it's weird that it pops up on the scanner and not in a database in a report at the engine side. At the point of entry, it's like, "Hey, you probably fat fingered this. You want to check that?"
Yeah. Back up, buddy. Back up. I know. I know. Give me about 10 minutes. That's all I'm asking. He's very eager. He's sneezing all over me.
We have vending machines in our break room, just 2 pop machines. There's a Coke machine and a Pepsi machine.
Yeah.
Pepsi machine is unfortunately has been out of stock for a little while, but there's some Coke products I will tolerate.
Yeah.
They finally ran out of the cherry Coke, so I've been drinking Coke Zero. Cans cost 40 cents. So you put in 2 quarters and you get a dime back.
Yeah.
So you end up with dimes in your pocket because you have quarters because you need to meet or beat 40 cents. So you take 2 quarters. It's 2 coins. You get a dime back. So after a couple of these, you end up with a pocket full of dimes. So you start taking the dimes and you start using them.
Yeah.
The thing is people end up with a lot of dimes at this place. So they end up putting a lot of dimes in. The dimes hopper is full. So you cannot put dimes in the machine right now. It will only take quarters. But the input and the output hoppers are separate.
Yes.
It will not take dimes, but it has dimes to dispense.
Who runs those machines?
I don't know, and I'm angry that
we should find out. Check the side. Check if there's a label. Look for the Namco label.
There's Pepsi and Coke vendors that come to the store 7 days a week to restock the sections and rearrange them and stuff. They could go upstairs and restock them every single day.
Yeah, but that's the Pepsi and Coke vendors. The vending machine people are completely separated and not affiliated with either of those, the bottlers or the distributors. I have learned an alarming amount about this business for some reason recently. Okay, that's a lie. It's not recently. I've known about this stuff, which is why I want to do this in the first damn place. But yeah. Independent franchises. Yeah. Independent franchisees.
Yeah. We need to talk about that. I read through that document.
Yeah.
I have notes and I have inside knowledge and I have things I want to add to that game to make it very more realistic.
Please.
Fun.
Please. I would love to talk about that. Heck, I'm tempted to do that. Do you want to do that this weekend? We'll do it on stream. We'll stream it on the Hergel channel. Talk about Project Vend. We'll have like an inside design document discussion live in public. Why not?
That's one of the few things I don't like about this job. The schedules come out weekly.
Yeah.
I mean, we get paid weekly, but also the schedules
you sure do. Weekly. You get paid very weekly.
Oh,
I wish they would pay you strongly.
Actually, I think more jobs should pay out weekly. The 2-week paycheck makes no goddamn sense, especially when it's all digital.
Yeah.
I could understand because there's some cost involved in cutting and printing and mailing a physical check and whatever. And I think if you opt for no, I want an actual check that is a bearer instrument and I have to take it to a bank. No, you get your shit every 2 weeks. But no, if we're moving these fake money bits into these fake money bits over the magic fake money wires, fuck.
Yeah,
why
it's
not daily.
Well, yeah.
I mean, well, that'd be a counting nightmare, but like, weekly pay. But the schedule also comes out weekly. I literally don't know if I'm working on Sunday until Friday.
Yeah. That's gross. That's really gross. But to
request off, I need to put in a request by Monday because between Monday is the cutoff, and then they have 4 days to reconcile all those things, and then they put out the schedule on Friday. But like, if I were to request off right now, I would not be able to request off next week. The soonest day I'd be able to request off is the 17th.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's terrible.
But I don't even know if I'm working on the 9th right now.
Yeah. It's a nightmare and a half, man. Scheduling stuff in general is broken. The software that you guys are using to do it is broken, and it's a system that...
It's Kronos. We're going to call it, it's Kronos.
Yeah, it's Kronos. God bless Kronos. They're nobody in the store schedules, things like that. Yeah.
Apparently, our machines, they had the terminals have the touch sensor, and they used that they put that in right before the pandemic because it was easy, just everybody's fingerprint, just swipe it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened, where everybody was wearing gloves and touch surfaces and contacts and stuff, and nobody wanted to touch anything, so you'd have to like wipe it down because you don't want to touch anybody else, use it, and then wipe it down again so you don't leave your shit on it.
Yeah.
And that was such a backlash. They're like, no, just go to using the touch screen and whatever. And I'm like, they have a card swipe. That's what the slot in the side. Give us the magic. Give us the IDs with the mag stripe on it, and we just go swipe. No entering, no touching. Hell, the version we have in the front has a proc sensor. You don't even have to touch it. Just kind of tap to pay, wave it in front of it.
Dino.
Oh. Boy, I'm just a little puppy, Daddy. I want to get on your lap like the kittens.
He is. He's such a sweet little lap dog. We're going to take him out in just a minute. Calm down, buddy. We're going to go out in a minute. Promise. For real. I mean it. I'm serious. Stop. 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 Calm down. Yeah. I know. It's been almost a whole hour since I've taken him out. I'm sure he's going to explode. You know what? I think we're going to take our ad break a little bit early, and I'm going to take this guy outside. You guys should take a break, too. Go run to the restroom, take care of whatever needs you get, freshen your drink. I do want to talk about drinks when I get back, too, and drinks that are in season. We will take a few-minute break, and we will be back in just a few. Don't you go anywhere. You stay right here. Hello and welcome back to the Blue House Bull Session on this beautiful Thursday Febrand of 2000 something. What is it? The 5th of February. Remember, the 5th of November. Oh man, I don't know. It's been a very, very long year and we're only a month in. But we are managing. We are making it through one way or another. You will survive. You have no choice.
Well,
things will improve. It is inevitable.
I will make this very, very macabre joke. You do have an choice.
In Minecraft. Just to clarify, in Minecraft.
You have an choice. Whether or not to be an hero.
Yes. In Minecraft.
That is such. I just realized how narrow of a joke that is. Like the overlap of people that will get that joke is such a just sliver Venn diagram.
Back up. No. Go away.
Ooh, my turn.
I don't like dogs. I just spent the entire last show talking about how little I like dogs. Thank you to my moderation team, which is uber fuzzy. I appreciate you. I try my best to do the same for you when I catch you streaming. You are one of the real ones, man. I hope you know that. Always and forever, my brother. Although, they did say the best viewers. I'm trying to figure out what they could offer me that's better than the viewers we already have. Because they're pretty great, I gotta say. Anyway, yeah. I've been thinking more about what we should do on the Hergel channel. And you know what I'm starting to reach a conclusion of? Do you know what conclusion I am coming to? To which conclusion I am coming? How do I grammatically do that? Do you know what I have concluded? Stuff. We absolutely should be streaming stuff. It doesn't have to be the right stuff or very good stuff, but something. And I should make sure everyone has a key so you can go stream stuff whenever.
That may or may not work. A stream key, even a delegated one, will let you stream to the channel.
Yes.
That may not let you control the channel.
Well, I should also make sure everyone has the login then.
Well, no, because it should be two-factored, which is going to be complicated.
You know, you raise a valid point there. I also want to look more into restreaming because I have questions about how some of those things work, and I want to figure out how, etc., etc. Grant, I need to talk to you.
It's whether or not, like, who can set, like, the key will let OBS send data to the ingest to be shown on the channel.
Right.
How does that let me set, like, channel information and the header and the topic and the stuff? Because I don't log in to Twitch with that. That key just lets me send video. Does that mean I have to use the built-into OBS Twitch manager panel to set those things?
I don't know. I don't know if that does work, and I should find out. We'll do some digging first, but like our discussion about what this game could be and the notes you want to share, or when I'm working on a random project that is a Hergel project and not a me project, if that makes any sense, I should absolutely be streaming on that channel.
Yeah.
Whatever is Hergel adjacent, do it on the Hergel channel.
Do you want a good example of a company that does their streaming and their social media pretty damn well?
Who?
Coffee Stain Studios. Satisfactory.
Ah. I was going to say that the name wasn't immediately familiar, but the game is.
They make other stuff apparently, but their biggest to date hit has been Satisfactory.
The game that many
They're
people describe as adequate. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
there are people who play that game at I question whether we're playing the same game.
Yeah.
Like, did they I realize it's kind of open-ended, but it's kind of not. But like, are we do you realize the point? Minecraft, at least Minecraft is more of a sandbox that they kind of tacked on a progression and a story, but still ultimately it's an open palette to
Yeah.
do whatever you want. There is not a goal with a story and objectives.
Yeah.
It can, I guess.
But there is no hard requirement of it.
There is not, yeah, there's not a progression. There are things you can do to say you did it once, like go find a stronghold and repair the portal and then go to the end and kill the dragon. Yay, you did a thing. Yeah, but it's not different.
Yeah.
There is a task you can do, but it is not progression.
Right.
Satisfactory, there is progression. It's an open-ended sandbox on the way to that progression.
But there is a very
Some people forget that there is
linear. Yeah.
Right. And I see these builds like, oh, I just got done putting 277 coal generators down to make 70 billion zugawatts, and I'm only in milestone 3, and I'm like, you realize if you just would have went this much further and completed that milestone, you unlock better generators, and all that is moot.
No, they don't realize that. Or they're deliberately opting against it because it's not uncommon for people to create difficulty for themselves to enhance a game experience.
Oh, yeah, and I get that, but they're playing like still on their first world.
Yeah.
I knew going into it, like, hey, everything I'm building is temporary because I'm very quickly going to unlock better shit or a better way to do anything I'm doing. So I'm not going to build anything too permanent because I'm going to come back later with better stuff and replace all this.
You knew going into it. There lies the key to this whole discussion.
No. Just the concept of there, you can see it in the menu. Just by the icons, you know there's bigger, better things.
But knowing exactly what they are and when they unlock.
Yeah, I know everything we're playing here is like Duplo blocks. And later I'm going to get Technics. By sheer fact of the way the game is designed.
Thing is, remember, you can come up retroactively with any explanation, and you're not wrong. But common sense is what you already know.
True.
And if you don't know it, it's not common sense yet. And if someone else doesn't know it yet, you can say that's common sense, but that's only because you know it.
The majority of people have above average number of eyeballs.
Exactly. There's on average 1.06 skeletons per body. I did the math one day. Math.
Yep.
I think it was in the Discord even. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. If it's not, I'll find that conversation and post it. But yes, because of the existence of pregnant women, the average number of skeletons per person is slightly more than one. And I did the math based on statistics as of 2024.
I wonder how that balances out with, like, paraplegics or something.
They still have the same number of skeletons. They just don't have the same number of bones.
Oh, okay. That's true.
That's why I went with skeletons total. I don't know how I just broke you, but I'm so excited to find out now.
I don't remember the order of the words, but there's something about that the bastardization, that joke about number of bones in the body but since half the population are women, it's bones plus one or something, and it's a pickup line. I know the premise of the joke, but I can't remember the order of the words.
I think
It's
that's
like
to everyone's
bone
benefit
in
right
you.
now. Yeah. You're
Uh,
fired. Clean out your locker and go home. Wait, you are home. Clean out your locker anyway.
I wonder if I could. I wonder if they'll let me claim a second locker at work.
Couldn't hurt to ask.
Like there's extras, and the one directly below mine is empty, and it doesn't look like anybody lives there. Like it's not claimed or anything.
Yeah.
I just want to like start stocking snacks in it, so I don't have to like when energy drinks go on sale, go buy like a dozen of them and just make my own little vending machine directly below mine. So I just
We're
don't
headed
have
to
to
the
remember to
same
bring them
place
in.
because I was about to tell you you should put a vending machine in the break room.
I'm gonna go to Costco. I'm gonna get one of those candy bar variety fundraiser boxes and put it on there and put a Venmo QR code on the front of it and
Yeah.
like honor system Venmo this address $1 and just see what happens.
Why not? In theory, they could tell you you can't do that, and then you take it home and bring me the candy bars. I'll give you the remaining dollars and eat them.
I'll never forget when I bought that variety box because I wanted a variety of candy bars and I had it sitting there. And you came in my bedroom
Yep.
and you're like, "Oh, look, candy bars," and you saw fundraiser box and you're like, "Do I just put the dollar in the box? Or you have like a jar or something?" I'm like, "Oh, just set it on top." And you took a candy bar and you put $1. And then you did that 2 or 3 times, like when I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so there were a few singles tucked in the side of the box, and some candy was missing, and there were some dollars. And somebody else came by and didn't even question it. And then I just got an old peanut butter jar and I put it next to the candy box and put the dollars in it. And without saying a word to anybody else, that box was emptied and that jar filled up with coins and singles, and nobody said a damn thing. And then I just bought another box. And I just kept doing that. And I'd left the extra money in there. So it always looked like there was some in there as seed money. And nobody said anything the entire summer. They just assumed I was selling candy bars for like my sisters or something.
It said fundraiser. None of us cared that the funds being raised were the Fuzzy would like more money fund.
It wasn't even that. I just bought them to eat. I wasn't fundraising. I was blood glucose raising. It was just I bought candy bars to consume.
Yeah. Yeah. You
But
know
the
what?
entire
I'd do
summer-
it again. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
You bought the Snickers. Brett would come in and he's like, "I'm pre-putting in a 5 because I don't want to like deal with change. Can I just like put in a 5 now and take them as I need them?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah. Why not? What do you stand to lose?
I think we went through 8 boxes.
Yeah.
The blue boxes, the variety pack, the Snickers and the Mars adjacent things. That's when we went through 8 box, just like about every week, about every 2 weeks, we'd go through a box. Nobody said a damn thing.
Yeah. Why would
There
they?
was just candy. You put money in, you take candy out, and nobody said a thing.
That's why I keep joking about getting a vending machine for the living room and stocking it with all the stuff I like to drink. I'll know there's always money for drinks because I have to put the money in to get the damn drinks out. And if anyone else comes over, maybe the novelty will be enough that they'll put $1 in.
You know what you should look into?
Hmm.
Okay, talk about weird generational narrow shingles window here. The bar style cigarette machines with the pull lever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should see if they make small versions of those, like countertop size ones. And when you go get cigarettes, when they're on sale or something, don't go just get your carton that'll last you 2 weeks. When they're on sale, find a way to get the money, but buy a couple cartons and stock that. And then when you need cigarettes, go in there and take one out of the machine. You know where your cigarettes are. They're not somewhere on your desk. They are in a dedicated, this is my stock of supplies. They
Yeah,
are there. When I need one, I know where to go get them.
I would do
You
it.
go in the living room because that's where the drinks are. The drinks go in the drink corner of the living room, you know.
Fair, fair. We will support your endeavor to quit too. No, I definitely do have a weird fixation with vending machines, though. As we've discussed through like 9 different topics, they've all tied back to that somehow. You can always get me with the gotcha. You know, I'm a sucker for that stuff.
Oh, it's only 500 yen. I should play. Damn you, Shenmue!
Oh man, they had the coolest toys though. They had the Binsbane from Space Harrier. That's another one of those cool games that I enjoyed the premise of that I haven't seen in a while is the fake 3D rail shooter.
Mm,
Space Harrier was cool. Space Harrier was real cool, man. I'll put that on a list of things I want to write eventually. One of the games in Last Stream Standing was kind of like that. The ad blocker one where you had to jump over the pop-up ads.
yeah.
Like I like that style of like second person view. You're looking at you.
Oh, like over the shoulder.
Yeah. Or behind you in general.
Oh God, what's the new shooter game with the shark and the way too sexy squirrel?
What? Can you
Marvel Rivals.
Oh, yeah,
Girl,
yeah,
girl.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, so it's one of those over the shoulder, like slightly off to the side, but like the
Yeah.
viewing reticle, like you're seeing over the camera is here. In most games, you know how they do that? There's an invisible camera object there.
Stapled to
That's
the
how
back of the
it's
player, yeah.
right. But that means it's bound to the player and it's bound to their hitbox.
Yeah.
You can shoot over the right shoulder at somebody and it counts as a headshot because they detect headshots by being in the top so many pixels. And there's a collidable invisible object for the camera here that counts as a headshot. But if you shoot over their left shoulder, it doesn't count because there's nothing there.
That's amazing. That is absolutely fantastic. Calm down, buddy. Calm
It
down.
took them weeks to fix this.
Man.
I'm sorry if that was that developer. I would be like,
No, listen to me. Listen to me. You listen to me right now, okay? We're about to have a fight on the air because you're that developer. Not on that game, but you're that developer. You now know from experience being that developer.
I would drop what I was doing and fix that
And
and immediately
patch-
push it to everything. I would leave, I would get out of the shower and run to the computer naked and wet to go and fix it. I would leave an anniversary dinner to get to a laptop to push that fix.
I would
that is
take
like
my lunch break at work to remove the rogue green bean from the sprite sheet and push it live to Steam. Yeah.
I debated not saying anything and seeing how long until somebody reported it.
I appreciate very much that you did say something. I'd much rather have you do that because while I understand the amusement in it, this is us, man.
The thing is, you just saw like a few extra green pixels on the side of the chicken cutlet. Like, oh no, somebody on the sprite sheet. I'm like, did the sheet move? Like, no, because all of the icons would be messed up if they just like
Yeah.
slid over, or the math got moved over by 2 pixels and it was cutting into a cell next to it or something. I'm like, what is like the spinach next to it and the cutting or the spray? I'm like, no, because we don't cut them like that. They're layered and like what?
No,
Yeah.
it was Photoshop, and it was the fact that I pushed from a local thing. This is just one more tick mark in the we will get to that.
Yeah, we need to clean build in the cloud.
Yeah.
There's thing I know how to do it. I looked into Steam Pipe when we had that discussion a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I know vaguely how to set it all up. I just have to actually like work out the particulars and get like the not repo. What the hell does Steam call it?
Depot.
The buckets where the depot. I have to
Yeah.
get the depot IDs and set all that up and set up a bunch of GitHub variable shit so we can not hard code numbers into it so we can reuse it for other things and have a script to push to production or push to beta.
Well, my suggestion, if I may, just to wax technical for a minute here, is we set one up to push to beta, and that's it.
Oh yeah, because
you can promote one from a branch to another branch. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we set one up to push to beta, as soon as we're sure beta's good, we can always just be like, okay, this one should be live on master now.
There's also a technical hurdle we have to overcome of the build date and the way it's stamped into things.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard-coded string, we need to like pull that from an environment variable and have that environment variable set at build time.
Yes.
So we don't have to manually change that date. That date will actually reflect when the hell that executable was actually built.
Yes. I did not know how to do that. I absolutely feel like it's something we should.
I do. There's node environment. You can access environment variables from the node process that is running that. But it can only access some environment variables. There's a very specific whitelisted set of some environment variables that are safe. They know for sure. And then also any environment variable that starts with node underscore this, it can access inside without that prefix.
Yeah.
So if I make a environment variable called node foo,
from node you can do process.env.
Will know to pull that in
Yeah.
and make foo available in the environment, even if foo already exists. As if I have a foo and a node foo, node will pull in the node one and overwrite foo, which may be different, and you can abuse that.
That's gross, but fantastic at the same time.
Because sometimes there's environment variables you need to operate your computer, but you need a different version of that to be node to be aware of it. If I make path,
Yeah.
which is all the programs, if I make node path with a different one, because I want the node process to have a different path loaded but not break my actual build,
Stop.
it'll pull that in and make path available, and it will squash it.
Nice.
Even if path is one of the magic ones it does pull in, you can override that.
That's creepy. That's kind of weird.
The level of shit that I know how to do.
Gross.
I can't list stuff like that on a resume. But that's that. Oh, yeah, it's Uber. He knows how to do magic, weird computer shit. Just let him cook. You know.
He's got a solution to your problem. It doesn't matter what your problem is. He either has or will find one. And yeah. I like Node. I'm not saying it's not gross, but I am saying that I do like it a lot.
Of all the... I like Node. I don't like that Node is JavaScript.
See, I'd go the other direction. I like JavaScript. Node is an implementation of JavaScript I can use to make things... I was going to say not in a web page, except I'm still doing everything in a damn web page. That's by choice, though.
Node is that it is diverged enough. It is no longer, let's just run JavaScript on the back end. It is turned into a lot more stuff. They just have to keep it JavaScript-like.
Yeah.
If it was not beholden to be JavaScript on the back end, Node would go very quickly
Back
in a
up.
very different way and be a lot more powerful, but they have to keep it vaguely JavaScript like.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that and I kind of hate that. And it's why some other languages are taking off to replace it on the back end for some things. But at the same time, being able to leverage all of your JavaScripty like knowledge, just not in a browser context, is very powerful.
Yes. That
You
it
know,
absolutely is. And the biggest thing for
having
me, go ahead.
async file system right, but I can just write normal JavaScript like code. Eh,
Well, the other thing that JavaScript affords us is a relatively painless portability. We're not taking
yeah,
as full advantage of that as we could, but there's a very small list of reasons for that. You know, we haven't yet.
I found a bug in our code that I don't want to tell you about because it's not actually causing a problem, and I think it's silently working as intended.
You don't have to tell me now, but I am very, very curious and would like to know about it. Stop.
I went to go write a new manager module
Yeah.
for managing ingredients.
Okay.
Because some of the work I'm doing on the virtual ingredients and the meta ones and the variable ones, I'm like, I just need to hide all these
Stop.
utilities in one ingredient manager and not directly access the ingredient array, right?
Right.
I'm gonna like hide some of that from the other code. And I'm like, I instinctively know how I want to write this in TypeScript, but none of the rest of the stuff is in TypeScript. And yes, I know you keep saying you want to do it. And I'm like, hey, AI, can you convert this other one to TypeScript? I want to see what it does. Can I just load this file and be like, Copilot, TypeScriptify this file for me. Just do your magic. Convert all 700 lines of this to TypeScript for me. And it did it fairly well. And then it immediately found a bunch of things like, hey, you're actually assigning a string to this number and then using it as a number. And I'm like, oh, he's just being lazy and reusing one generic temp variable twice. And you can just make it temp1 and temp2 and just do the shuffle that way. Like, that's fixable and stuff and some other things.
Was
And
it
then there was
is open?
no.
Okay.
No. It was some quantity thing that in one place it stores a string and it's like, oh, but it's not really. It's because you used temp as a string from something else first, and it was some like shuffle thing. You just reuse the same, but like it found some things that JavaScript will let you do because it in kind of a WAT
Yeah.
land of, yeah, we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to add a number, even though it was a string. We know you're adding a number, so we're probably going to turn it into a number because numbers are more important than strings. So we will numberify that string number and let you add the number to it and do what you want, not append a zero type thing.
Yeah. Stop.
I think we need to be more vigilant about some of these things and actually check them. I'm not saying go full on TypeScript everything, but like, hey, let's more document what some of these variables are and what they're supposed to be in their shape and stuff.
I understand your hesitance to convert the project to TypeScript, but this is one of the reasons I say there is great benefit to be had there, is it puts the tooling in place to do a lot of that stuff for you. Please back up.
It If we're gonna do it, we should do it soon. Why there's not too many branches and things going on
Yeah.
in flux, because it is a major change to the code base, and any open branches are jolly well fucked.
Yeah.
So we should make sure anything pending is done and taken, anything significant is done and merged and taken care of, because stashes will be invalidated.
Yeah.
It's like almost like, hey, should we just like make cafe repo 2 and run it through the TypeScript converter and save that over there, just start new history and be like, no.
It's
No, not that extreme,
Yeah.
but something like it is a major turning point.
yeah.
We probably should. At the same time, we probably should maybe not do it in any type or JavaScript entirely. The game should be in, Godot or something, or Unreal Engine, because that's apparently just what they fucking make everything in these days.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know if the game needs rewritten from the ground up, if that makes sense. I would push back against that because even though, yes, I know we have made a whole lot of design decisions that we have documented along the way that would help us in redoing this, there are enough things that would change as the result of a migration like that. The smallest and most feasible one is a move to TypeScript because it doesn't fundamentally change how anything works. Stop.
That growl.
I'm so done with him. Sorry, I don't mean to get all frustrated here. The thing is, with the JavaScript, get down. Please get down. Please get down. Yes, I love you too. Get down. He is a big old sweetie. I can't get too frustrated.
Something.
He is a big old. He is. They're trying to repopularize this breed by changing the name. To take the threat out of it, they say call him Pibble, like Pebble but with an I. He's a Pibble.
No.
That's one of their rebranding efforts, and I am not kidding about that. Go over there, you little Pibble. And as far as it goes, I like .NET. I like C#. The thing is, I have, we could do it in Mono. I know Mono, but I don't know that everyone else knows Mono. I don't know that everyone else knows C# for that matter. And, that's another benefit of...
I'll learn C#.
Another benefit we had coming into this project with JavaScript is that everyone knew it.
Yeah.
In varying degrees and varying ways, but everyone knew it.
I think at this point where it's at, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
But just like I keep wanting to go back and use our newer knowledge and redo the Zelda engine in at least better JavaScript, or if not TypeScript, I think converting it over later, somewhere before version 2, the big rewrite, after 1.0, and going into 2, we should do that rewrite.
Yeah.
But right now, it's probably not worth doing because it's going to introduce problems, and I'd rather get it out and stable and working in the mess that it is before we do that rewrite. Now, going forward on some of these other projects, yes, we probably, honestly, the vending machine game should be in TypeScript.
Yeah.
From the ground up.
100%.
Because especially with the amount of moving data that's going to be in there, the type safety alone, just from our own, protect ourselves from ourselves, would catch a lot of that dumb shit.
Yes, it absolutely would.
Especially with the way our team works very asynchronously on different parts. TypeScript works in the platforms that it works on. And mainly, and this largely came out of Facebook, is because there's 700 different fucking moving parts to make that one Facebook page. There's the feed team, there's the Chrome team, there's the sidebar team, there's the marketplace team, and they all have to interact. But it's wildly different parts of the company.
Yeah.
That have to be I need user data. What format is that in? It's the fucking code knows what it is. It's not just like somebody read the docs, but if the code got out of sync from the docs, everything fucking breaks. It's like, no, the code can tell you what the code is.
Yeah.
It can the data can tell you what the data is. There's schemas, there's output, there's types, et cetera, and things can adjust automatically.
And that's one of the reasons that I like it too, is I know I have a weakness when it comes to documentation. I am not very good at it, no matter how hard I practice. I'm getting better, but my better has gone from atrocious to just awful. But in something like TypeScript, you have said that problem can be alleviated by proper documentation.
Well, inherently, the code is...
Yes. We are headed to the same place in that, yes, it absolutely can be. And you can get all of your vitamins from eating a fistful of multivitamins every day. Or you can eat food like a person does. Because you're going to be doing that anyway. Why not just make some different choices about your food to get all your vitamins? It's a crappy metaphor. It's the first one that came to mind.
Well,
but
no, it's a very good point. Is a lot of people's like, oh, it's like, why do you need this multivitamin with 700 things? Like, because I eat like shit. Because I have one peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because I hate all other food, so I know I'm missing a ton. I'm not getting any iron, and I'm not getting any B12 or any of these other things. I literally don't get sunlight, so I had to get homemade sunlight.
If you don't have any natural sunlight, store-bought is fine. Stop. But it's one of those where do the best version of what you're doing, maybe not something different. Don't switch to something you're not going to do. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's... Yes.
And honestly, like there's some part of this where it's like, I hate to say this, I really do, but I think it will make at least a modicum of sense to you. It is probably incorrect, but I think you will understand where my head is when I say this. One of the things that sits on my mind is some amount of portability. Right now we're using Electron. Electron offers, at least in theory, the ability to take a web page at its core, et cetera, and put it on any of a number of devices locally.
Yeah.
The same is probably true for building out a project in C#. That's what Mono is. That's what XNA was and Mono is now, is the ability to do all of that stuff. But I don't know how to do it on a Mac or what is required to target it for. And it's Apple devices. It's all fucking Apple devices because their ecosystem is so closed off and still one of the more profitable ones.
No, it's actually not, is the thing. The thing is Wine exists and got good. I hate to just keep tugging on his, standing on the shoulders of giants and stuff, but Pirate Software had a really good rant about this. It's like, why don't you have a Mac version of your game? And he's like, because they did the numbers and there was like a 0.2% amount of the user base that even wanted it on the Mac. And then he outlaid all the annoying steps of developer keys and Xcode and provisioning and testing and all this, and then get approval and then going back and all this shit just for a tiny little version where his game runs perfectly fine in Wine. Stop. Just get the Windows version or even the Linux version and run it in Wine on Windows or in Wine on Linux or whatever. You can just run it on Mac, like just run it either of those versions on the Mac, a different executable because it exists. Or hell, with the new stuff, not Rosetta, whatever the Rosetta 2 Magic Silicon Mac bullshit, which is why all the programs never fucking work. But even that just works natively now. you can just run, as long as they don't do some weird shit. If they're just a normal Windows program, it can just like interpret that on the fly, and you can literally run an x86 executable because it's like, fuck it, we know how to intercept it. It's just magic now.
Yeah.
So that's why things don't have Mac versions listed anymore. It's the few people that want to play Mac versions can just run the Windows version, or sometimes even just the Linux version if there's one of those.
Yeah.
Even the Linux people are like, fuck it, we'll just run the Windows version.
And some of this goes back to, like, even if you want like a Mac version or an iOS version, that's really what I'm headed for. And that goes back to, well, you require access to a Apple device to build it.
Yes and no.
Go on.
Xcode, well, you don't, and the iPhone simulator works very well.
Okay, so I can build an iOS binary for the simulator for Windows?
Yeah.
And that is deployable to the App Store?
It will get you, as long as you're not doing some crazy device level shit like, oh, I need to test the accelerometer and stuff. Like, you should ultimately try to test it on a physical device, but you don't have to like do the build and then send your device constantly to check it on device. You can test that image in the simulator.
Right.
Just, oh, I need to get it to run and test, operating system level shit and sample touch events just to make sure it fucking works. Yeah, you can do that entirely in software.
But I mean, in terms of deployment, the final build you ship off, can I do that from a Windows PC?
I think so.
Okay. For a very, very, very long time, you could not.
I think you still have to have the developer keys.
Yes.
You still have to have the Mac developer
$150 a year, whatever. Yeah.
I think it's cheaper now. I think it's only like $100. But that's the barrier to entry. To
right.
Because they don't want 1,000 shovelware. They want you to, some barrier to entry.
Right. No, I understand that. Whether or not I like it is entirely beside the point, but I understand that. But at one point in time, for a very long amount of time, it required that, and it had to be deployed from an Apple device. Yes, I know technically you do not have to own the Macintosh that you are sitting at to do that. I understand there are workarounds there, but...
The other problem of not just building it is when you build a desktop program, you generally know the screen is going to be a rectangle.
Yeah.
Even if it's 4x3 for some reason, or not, like, you still generally know it's going to be a rectangle. As long as it's not too big and you make it resizable, fuck it. You start getting into phones and you have to deal with, you don't know the orientation of the device. By default, they're vertical. They're portrait, not landscape.
You do have the option to force the orientation. You do have that option. But even then...
you also potentially have to deal with the device gets rotated. How does your game handle that? Unless you force it. But then the aspect ratios are different on different devices.
Yeah.
Do you stretch to the narrow side and just deal with black bars at the long side, which is probably the better way to do that? And then touch events are weird between devices. And this is all if you just pick just one thing.
Yeah.
You build in a browser for the PC, you don't have to deal with that. There are click events. The browser fucking handles that. I don't have to deal with, is that a tap? Is that a double tap? Do we deal with multi-touch? Is this a long press? Is this a double tap on the screen? Is this a single press and hold? You have to handle all of that shit because shit can go very weird. I'll call ourselves out. We have a problem right now. Some of the click handlers in Cafe only read on mouse down, but not on left click. So you can click with the right button or the middle button or any mouse button. And sometimes they don't handle double click events. If you click too fast, it gets sent as a double click event and not a click. And a click is different than a mouse down. And we're not consistent about that. It's easy to fix, and we will fix it, but that's all fine when we're targeting a web-based thing. As soon as we get into any sort of touch device, that gets a fucking nightmare of shit.
Yeah.
And by having one code base, be it Electron or Forge or .NET or whatever, as soon as you have one code base that has to handle all of these, that gets real hinky real quick. So you either have to be very, very careful on how you write those handlers, or you have a separate version of it. And do we do that? And then you have to keep them in sync and feature parity. It's like, oh, we haven't update that version to the Mac build or whatever. This is why EverQuest 2 for Mac was a steaming shit show on separate servers because they were months behind because they had to deal with all this.
Yeah.
This is why iOS ports of games that come to Windows are radically different, is they're just written different. If you write an iOS game, it is an iOS game. It is really hard to port that to Windows. You can kind of cram some Windows games onto iOS, but you have to add a lot of glue and hope all your events propagate correctly.
Yeah, there's hairiness there. This path lies madness.
But it is doable, and people do it. But that gets into the realm of that domain expertise that unless you have that experience, that path is unblazed and has not been cut, and you have to tread that path. You have to go through with your waders and your machete, and you have to forge that path new. And then once you do, it's a whole lot easier to do it again because you know what you're doing. You know what you're... Okay, we have tried this and failed.
Yeah.
We know not to ford the river. Build the fucking bridge. Even if it's going to take 3 months, build the bridge. You cannot wade across it.
Man, I thought writing video games was going to be fun. And it is, except for all the parts that aren't. Ah, well. I can't complain about it. I still have way too much fun with it.
I think there's the old adage of, do the game something, do the thing you like to do and you never work a day or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's like, you write, you work at a game studio. Do you like playing games? Like, no, I don't. I don't want to look at code. I don't even want to fucking look at a video game because I'm just traumatized by having to push to play the same first 10 seconds of this game trying to, get gravity to work. I don't want to play video games.
Yeah.
People that work on driving games don't even like to drive because they don't want to look at cars or car physics or roads ever again. They go home and play, Candy Crush because they just don't want to look at the dumbest. They don't want to look at anything.
The same old thing that it's been.
People always think chefs like, do you go home and make these beautiful things? No, I go home and I get McDonald's because I just want to take the food and put it in my face and not think about a prep surface.
Yeah.
It's like, how many video games do you play, Jason?
Like 1.5. And Minecraft is both of them.
And even that's starting to turn into development stuff for you.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Speaking of which, I gotta push some updates soon. I do. I have new stuff I'm putting on the server. Whole new
Can we move
worlds.
Can we move that fucking portal?
Sure. Take it down, put it wherever you want.
I don't know how to light it.
With the flint and steel.
Oh, okay.
You just
Same concept,
build
just
it.
different
Yeah.
blocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
I don't know. Maybe you got to like build it out of per blocks, and then you like smack it with a sugarcane stick, and it lights it. I don't know.
I know, and there are going to be some that are weird like that, but for this one, go ahead, tear it down, man. Put it someplace else. Please do not tear down my skyscraper. Please do not dig up my skyscraper. Please do not damage my. Do not fold, spindle, or mutilate my skyscraper.
You're gonna log in with a, and you're like, oh, you're gonna go like you're gonna walk up to your building. You're gonna go in, and it's gonna be one hollow shell.
Just nothing inside it at all.
I'm gonna get the XY coordinates of the corners, and I'm gonna do an op level fill command of a white. I'm gonna empty it and then fill one layer inside of the white concrete. So you're gonna walk through the door. It's gonna be this empty void space of just like no lines. You're gonna be like, what the hell?
Where my building go? My building there outside. Where inside building? Building isn't. Where am I not? I don't understand.
There's a way to move. There's a copy a chunk. I'm gonna duplicate your building entirely, like 1,000 chunks north, and then I'm gonna like hollow out yours to be empty void.
You're just gonna fill it with cave air, which is separate from air because Minecraft is like that.
Oh, is that how they do the caving? They vein cave air.
Yes.
Oh.
And for structure blocks, there is a block called structure void, which is not air. It is literal nothing. If you build a jigsaw structure, it tracks all the blocks in it, including air and cave air. But if you place a structure block, it just does not save that block's data in the structure.
It's a gap to let whatever is naturally there just continue.
Yes. Yes. I don't have time for Factorio. I have seen Factorio, and I do not have time for it. That's
I like the concept of Factorio. I did not like the combat. I like the concept of the combat. I don't like the combat mechanics.
Yeah.
And yes, I know turrets exist later and stuff. I don't like dealing with the combat. I like the building part of it.
It's the same reason that despite seeing it on sale recently, I didn't buy 64. I thought real hard about it, and then I decided not yet. Not yet. We have too much to do.
Thing? Yeah. I know. I keep seeing that, and I'm like, that looks exactly. I'm like, it's not a clicker. It's more of an automation thing, and it's more of an RP. It's like, I have enough of those. I don't need another one as much as I want that game.
Yeah.
Man, Idle Fest. God damn it. Why do you gotta like do this when I don't have money or time?
Oh, hey, speaking of which, I need to talk to you later in private. We need to talk about Next Fest, because Next Fest is coming up, and some of our friends have expressed interest in collaborating and doing some, like, co-streams and game streams during Next Fest. I guess that wasn't very private, was it? We should probably, like, talk about this. But,
speaking of streaming...
Yes.
That's something we should also look about doing on next Steam sale thing. If we do another sale for Let's Cafe, figure out how that annoying as fuck feature that I absolutely hate with the developer streaming on Steam works, and possibly do that.
Yes, absolutely, we should. We absolutely should.
Because I hate that feature, and also I know it does get, if they're actually live and not just like doing a thing, yeah.
But yeah, the idea got kicked around a little bit, and I was going to say, hey, yeah, we should definitely do something for Next Fest. So, here's your early heads up. We should do something for Next Fest.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And if we don't, there'll be another one in 3 months. They do them like
Yeah.
3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Oh, that is definitely one to push out to that key service,
Yeah. Key mailer.
because there's a lot of streamers that they go hardcore into Next Fest,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll just like play a ton of stuff. Like they'll do a dozen different games from Next Fest, like each day, just to like try them out and get a little exposure and like mini review them.
Yeah.
And so if like you put keys out there for that and like, hey, please go ahead, please go play this during this because it is on sale, and make sure you pitch that, and they'll like definitely do it.
Yeah. I'll have to get on our marketing team about that.
Got it.
Jacob. No, Jacob's already been volunteered.
I know. I'm double
Making sure that you're not. Yeah.
I'm double shotgunning it.
Yes. Yes. You've got both fingers lodged firmly up your nose, indicating nose goes, not it. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Then I will archive this topic for next show,
Oh yes.
because I had another TV and audio related question, but I will save it for next time because it's actually a good one, and I want to have a good time to talk about it.
I am intrigued, and I am eager to see that. So we will catch that on our next time around, because we are just about at time, and I am going to feel bad that the dog's just laying on the floor. He's splooting out in the hallway, and now I feel guilty that I'm not giving him all my attention, even though I can't stand to give him all my attention. This dog, man, I tell you, he's something else. I may not like him, but I love him.
Oh no.
Oh no, oh no.
I left my boat parked in the wrong place for the entire show.
Oh no, you left your boat parked in the wrong place for the entire show. Your fish! Your fish! Oh
Yeah.
no!
I was fishing the wrong area.
Oh man. Bummer. Bummer. Anyway, what else do we have going on this week? I'm going to be doing music on Friday again. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be running and what's going to be going on, but I'll definitely be here doing something on Friday. Who do we got live? Who can we crash in on? Jiggy's live? Is Ellie live? Or is she still on her friend's channel? Let me go look. Oh, wait. I have access to the Raid browser here. I can do this.
I read a lot of Reddit, and I have been getting more into actually trying to help people, especially on the Twitch subreddit, because people are dumb.
Yeah.
People like new streamers like, oh, I don't know, like somebody's like, what are raids? How does it work? And everybody's like, you do /raid. I'm like, hey guys, /raid browser exists.
Yeah.
There's a button for it in the dashboard, or just raid browser, and it pops up, and then you don't have to like type in people's names, and there's a whole UI, and you can hit like find games in the same game I'm playing. If you want to send to, I'm playing Minecraft, I want to send to another Minecraft stream, or somebody random, or only like filters and stuff exist, and you don't gotta type anything. You can just click some buttons, and they're like, "Oh my god, what is this wizardry?" I'm like, "It's been out for like at least over a year, if not more.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking uses this thing." And then I linked to the help page, like, "Oh my god, there's help pages that explain these things," and I'm like,
Frustrating sometimes, ain't it?
"Ugh."
We all had to start somewhere. Always try your best to remember that. I think I'm going to send you guys over to my friend AJX Lottle, who I found through playing Let's Cafe. Come to be a very valued member of our community and a good friend. Yeah, let's go do that. I got a raid call here, don't I? I got a button. There's our raid call. Go shower some love on AJ. He could absolutely use it. Let me figure out my button here one more time. Marvels of modern technology. But yeah, we'll definitely be back on Friday for music and hopefully doing some productivity this week. You might even catch me working on my to-do list, using my to-do list, because dog fooding. You know how it goes. Now, where's the button to do that? Is that it? That's, how do I do? There's a button here, right? There should be a button here. How do I do this? That's so confusing. Oh well. Anyway, thank you so very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. Go copy my raid call, shower some love on AJ. Let me mash that button a few more times and then type this. There we go. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us on the Blue House Bull Session. If we don't see you before then, we will be back with you next Wednesday. Much love to you and bye.